We're back inside the Diamond, episode 18. Special guest Itai Spinoza here joining us today. Former D1 pitcher out of Elon. Wait, hang on. I'm getting echo from YouTube. That's throwing me off, boys. All right, no, we're back now. Ethan, Itai, it's good to have you guys on today. Got a lot of stuff to talk about the MLB draft, but we wanted to have Itai on specifically to talk about some pitchers because Ethan, like I talked about last time, and I've kind of been just talking about this the entire time leading up to the draft, but this entire pitching crop is just so deep. So we got 10 guys that we want to talk about today. But first, Itai, man, it's been a while since, we talked a lot of baseball together, bro, but how's life treating you in Texas?
Life is good, man. It's weird not having baseball filling up all my time, but I mean, it's nice just enjoying the real world now, I guess. I'm living here at the beach, got away from New York, but I can't complain. And it's good to be on here. We've been talking about it for a while, so
A while.
finally, yeah, yeah, a while.
Couldn't put it
But
off any longer, bro. And Ethan, man, it's good to
exactly.
have you joining us as always, bro. How are you doing today?
Doing great, bro. Junior Caminero home run derby, and he hits his 22nd of the year, so couldn't be happier right now.
We spoke that shit into existence. Now we just need Joe Adell.
Joe Adell,
Nick
need the
Kurtz,
Joe show in the derby.
If Nick Kurtz if he does join, I'm taking full responsibility for that. Well, like half responsibility. But I've been putting that propaganda out there for a little bit now. So
Nick Kurtz would be sweet. That dude has juice.
always cheesing. No, he's got a lot of juice. Yeah. Etai's employed. What a world we live in. Boys, let's talk about some pitchers, though. So, Itai, I gave you 10 names that we were going to go over. Ethan, I gave you 10 names pretty much like 20 minutes ago. So, I apologize for that again.
Short notice, baby, but let's go.
Short notice, it's how we do it here. But first guy we got to talk about, I mean, no wonder we're talking about this guy first. Liam Doyle out of LSU. This dude is an absolute dog, Itai, and I know you probably watched a lot of him throughout the entire year. The fact that he went to Omaha and won a national championship. The last few years, we've seen two LSU starters be on the front line of the MLB draft, and Cade Anderson looks poised to go possibly first overall or even second. dude's nasty. But Itai, I want to hear what you got to say about him. You are a lefty. You are a lefty. So I want to hear what you got to say about easily just the best pitcher in the class.
Yeah, no, going like throughout the season, I always heard the name. Like I never really watched LSU play or nothing, but like he was always top of those draft boards. He was always nasty. Then once Omaha came around, that's when I like first watched him pitch. And dude, I mean, it's impressive shit. He's just, I don't know. It's not really overpowering. I think he's just like, what is he, 2 to 5, good off speed stuff, but just like racks up strikeouts, like pounds the zone. He's a good player, really good player. That's all I can say.
Good player. He's a damn good player, bro. And you saw the fastball touching like upper 90s there, especially in Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how that's going to be necessarily sustained at the pro level. I'm sure he'll be able to keep that velo there fine.
I mean, you can throw some weight on him. That kid's skinny.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, we see a lot of skinny lefties now. I mean, Ethan, I don't know. I think you had a comp for him that you like out of the MLB, but
yeah. So my Kate Anderson comp right now is probably Max Fried. Just in terms of the overall build, the overall I mean, you could just see with the lineup that we're seeing right now. Fried, same thing, plus changeup. Cade's or plus curveball, I should say. Cade's gets up to 3,000 RPMs, which is really good, especially for a college guy. Granted, the baseballs are a little different at the college level, but this is a guy that's probably going to sustain probably a curveball over 2,100 RPMs at the MLB level. Fastball gets up to 25 IVB, which is really good. And this guy had 180 Ks and 119 innings. So just absolutely dominant. We saw what we did at the College World Series. And I mean, just absolute dominant stuff from a lefty that probably profiles very similarly to Max Fried.
Yeah, this is a guy that's just going to be tough to pass up at first overall, in my opinion. He absolutely shot up draft boards. When I did a mock back in March, I don't even know if I had him picked. And he was a second-round guy for me, like very early second round, maybe a comp pick back then. Now, I mean, being a consensus top 5 pick's unreal. I mean, all these LSU guys, bro, they just show continuously what they can do throughout the year. Saw that from Kate Anderson this year. I love the Max Fried comp. I would really love to see him go to the Nationals and fit into that rotation that's already got an amazing lefty in Mackenzie Gore. But, dude, going to the Angels, you know that they would fast-track him up to the majors in like 2 weeks. So I would love to see that. But, I mean, is this
better not ruin him, though.
No, dude, I don't know. I think they're going to take a Tennessee pitcher. And
maybe.
They're going to go down that same route. So I think that's going to be the thing that plays out. But any team that maybe, Ethan, you can answer this one that, you don't want him falling to here in this draft? Or is this kind of like he can go anywhere, just be the same dominant guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably just going to be good wherever he goes. I mean, we're just seeing right there with the PFP, which is super impressive. But the fact that you can have a depthy curveball while sitting 20 inches of IVB from the left side, sitting around mid-90s, topping 97, 98, be really hard to kind of screw that up. But I mean, you could just see the composure on the mound, the high intensity that he has, and his ability to command 2+ pitches is just really impressive. But I mean, there's no way that he's not a top 2 pick if he falls past the Nationals. But I think the Nationals are probably leaning towards Ethan Holiday still, but Kate Anderson is still a consensus top 2 pick at this point.
Yeah, I've heard sources that the Nationals were not even any closer to figuring out who they were going to take at first overall when it came to when they were firing their manager and their GM. So I don't think they know yet. We'll see what they end up doing. Going to move on here to another left-hander out of the college class. And, dude, I mean, this guy is arguably more fun to watch than Kate Anderson, despite how dominant Anderson is. And I don't know why Patrick Forbes is coming up. Threw you guys off there. It's Liam Doyle. Liam Doyle is another one of these guys that is kind of like a consensus top 5 arm at this point. There is that possibility of him sliding still, in my opinion. Ethan, you've talked about some things that, you kind of makes you bothered about a guy like Liam Doyle. But Itai, another lefty here, easily the most electric arm in the class, in my opinion. But what do you got to say about this guy?
Yeah, Liam Doyle, I mean, that kid's fun. I think it was opening weekend. His first appearance was like, I don't know, 6 innings, 12 strikeouts, something like that. Like, I'd never heard of the kid before then. I knew he was at Ole Miss the year before. And then I also learned that, he did his time at Coastal as well. So he's bounced around a little bit, but I mean, clearly it's worked out for him. I mean, running it up to 100 miles an hour from the left side. I mean, no one's going to touch you.
No.
And I've seen something, like a few mocks that have him going to the Jays. I wouldn't hate that. I definitely wouldn't hate that. That'd be super cool having have a flamethrower lefty on our team.
Oh my god, that would be awesome. No, you
I
guys
mean,
need
right
that.
there too. He's also just got the juice.
Yeah. No, we saw the juice all year, and even in
Yeah.
like the regional, the supers, when like he was like out on 2 days rest or something, and he still went out and threw 100, and was like talking shit to the wake hitter who was taking a timeout, like when he was just trying to pitch to him, calls the infielders away from him. This dude's just the definition of a competitor, bro. Like I don't want to know what he yelled in the tunnel after he ran in there.
No one was following that guy into the tunnel. Nobody.
No, it was funny because it panned to like the relievers there at the end of the bench, and they were just like they were having a laugh. Like they knew that's just Liam. But if the Jays get Liam Doyle, that would be crazy. This dude's got a 75 grade fastball, 55 grade
Yeah, you
slider,
just don't see that all the time. That's sweet.
nasty cutter and slider. Like the upside with this dude is through the roof. Ethan, you got anything else to say about a guy as electric as Liam Doyle?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about on the show, Toby, a couple of times of just guys that can top 99, 100 from the left side. You really don't see that at the MLB level, and the fact that we're seeing at a guy at the college level is super impressive. But I mean, Doyle, 95 and 2/3 innings last year, or this year, I should say, 3.2 ERA. Opponent batting average against of a $185 is super impressive. 75 grade fastball, can run it up to 99, 100 miles an hour. Good IVB. The only concern I might have about Doyle is just him keeping his stuff over the course of the game. I know there was a few times where the velo was dipping a little bit in the 5th or 6th inning. That could just be him, I guess, maturing as he just develops at the minor league and MLB level eventually. But that's the only really concern that I have. But the fact that you're throwing triple digits from the left-hand side, the floor for Liam Doyle is probably a high leverage reliever at the MLB level, which is crazy to say. And I think his ceiling is just one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, no, crazy low floor, honestly, and there is that maybe a little bit of reliever risk, but this dude's incredibly electric. One that I just hope if he goes to the Angels, they don't ruin him. It'd be cool to see him with a guy like Ben Joyce, but I love what Liam Doyle brings to the table here, and it's clear any MLB org is just getting just an incredible competitor.
Right.
This guy's going to go out there and just give you his best every single outing. I mean, worked against SEC hitters, so we'll see how it translates to the pro level, but I don't think there's going to be a crazy amount of drop-off there. Now moving on to a guy that is in the prep school, the high school route in this draft, and Ethan, you made a little post about him. I don't know if that was yesterday or a couple days ago, but Seth Hernandez has been the talk of the MLB draft. He might actually end up sliding a little bit just based on what other options are there for certain teams, but guys, I mean, the stuff is there. I mean, you're seeing just the TrackMan stuff in the top left as well. He has an incredible pitch mix, and I mean, he touches triple digits from the right side. I think upwards of even 102 from the right side at just 19 years old. He's not going to Vanderbilt. I'll tell you that what he's not going to Vandy. Itai, what do you see from a guy like Seth Hernandez, especially being that this is our first high school one that we're talking about and our first righty?
Yeah, no, this was a guy that I had to look up just because, after 4 years in college, I'm not really following the high school stage.
Yeah.
But, I mean, looking at him, dude, it's impressive all around. Yeah, he's a high schooler. I mean, it seems like every high schooler now is throwing 98, 100 miles an hour. But
Crazy.
This kid, it's 4-pitch mix, filling it up, racks up a ton of strikeouts. Also went to a crazy good high school out in California. I mean, he's just first a winner, second – yeah, no shot he's going to school. That kid's getting paid. I mean, rightfully so. He's a pretty good pitcher.
Yeah, no,
it's good to see. He's very, very mature, very developed for a high school guy. That's why he's going to end up going so high.
Yeah, I mean, Ethan, what else do you see from a guy like Seth Hernandez here? I know we've kind of talked about him already, but I mean, from what else hasn't been said about him?
Yeah, I mean, Seth Hernandez is probably my highest upside pitcher in the entire draft. I know it's crazy, but in terms of like the prep arm, it's something we really haven't seen before. This changeup, according to a lot of guys, is actually one of the best that we've seen in a prep arm. I mean, just 6'4", 4+ pitches, 70 grade fastball already that can run it up to 20 inches of IVB in triple digits from the right-hand side. Curveball's up to 3,000 RPMs. Fastball's up to 2,500 RPMs. That's right around already a major league fastball, which is crazy to say. That changeup that we were just talking about, late arm side action, And the fact that he's able to throw a slider and manipulate it into a cutter is really impressive as well. The delivery is really smooth, and just the feel for 4 pitches at the high school level is really impressive. And he also does have a little bit of a sinker, just more of a runny fastball. But the fact that he's able to command all those pitches at an early age is really impressive. But the changeup is diabolical. It is ridiculously good.
Yeah, to have your lowest grade on a single pitch be 55 on your slider as a 19-year-old coming out of high school, it's ridiculous. Go 70, 60, 55, and then 60 on his 4-pitch mix. So to have that amount of pitches alone out of high school, I feel like is pretty rare. And then to just have that highly regarded of stuff at that age, 6'4", 190 pound frame. I mean, this dude is just unreal. I think my last mock Itai actually had him going to the Jays or falling to the Jays at 8. So
sure, yeah, we'll take him.
Yeah, maybe we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. But I'm excited to see where he lands, and even if a team like the Mariners gets him at 3, I mean, that's just a really fun development to have him go through. We'll see what happens with that. I mean,
the Mariners development, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and
they do really good with their pitchers.
Yeah, and you mentioned Itai, the school he comes out of. I mean, there might be 3 guys from Corona that end up going, maybe even 4 that end up going in the first round, from what I'm hearing. So that'd be unreal to see. But yeah, no, that'd be ridiculous, honestly. I mean, you think about our high school Itai and the amount of kids that even played college baseball on our high school team, and then you look at a school like Corona. It's not really fair. But we're going to move on now to a guy that I thought had the chance to go first overall, not even 2 months ago. Jamie Arnold here from FSU. This guy's got legit stuff, and he gets so overshadowed by the other 2 lefties in this class. I wouldn't be surprised to see him fall to a team like the Jays either at 8 if the team wants to take a prep bat or something. But Itai, another lefty, man. This guy has an insanely good fastball, even better slider. What do you see from a guy like Jamie Arnold?
Yeah, I mean, he really burst on the scene last year. I remember watching him all the time when they're on their run. And then this year, I feel like he should have been better than what he was. I mean, there's a ton of hype around him. Yeah, obviously he was still nasty, still strikes out everybody. It doesn't matter who he's facing. But, I mean, you get a lefty mid-90s from that arm slot, no one's touching him. I wish I could do that. That'd be pretty cool. He's throwing his slider 85 to 87. I mean, it's nasty stuff. I thought he was going to be the number 1 guy at the beginning of this year. I remember that. Because we would always talk about it. Just my teammates would be okay, who do we think should be that good? And I was always super high on Jamie Arnold. But yeah, I mean, he's a good player. There are a ton of good lefties. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, but
there's so many good lefties. Yeah. When I was sending you a list of guys that we were going to talk about today, I thought 6 or 7 of them were lefties there. So that's
crazy. I'm just thinking about it now. All the lefties we're going through.
Jamie
Arnold's the 3rd one.
Jamie Arnold went from being like I said, just that guy who I thought was going to go first overall to now he's the 4th overall prospect on MLB Pipeline's draft rankings. Nobody's really talking too much about a guy like Jamie Arnold anymore. Ethan, you got anything else on this guy from Florida State?
I mean, just the fact that all these guys that we're seeing highlights of are just super competitive at the college level is very impressive, just alone from the stuff that they have. The main comp I have for Jamie Arnold, I feel has to be a guy like Chris Sale. Just the arm action, the fact that he's a fastball slider kind of guy. Slider gets a little bit more like a sweeper in terms of the horizontal break that he can get. The main thing that I think separates him from a guy like Liam Doyle is just the fact that he was able to keep his stuff late in games. Especially at the college level. That was a little bit of a concern for Doyle. But yeah, the fact that he's fastball slider, has a plus changeup. The slider against lefties this year, if you look at the numbers, it was borderline unhittable. Yeah. But just arm slot, the overall package, the delivery, the Chris Sale comp, there's really not anything to not like about a guy like Jamie Arnold out of FSU. And in the stuff uptick from Jesuit High School to FSU was huge as well. So.
Yeah, I think he had some sort of illness early on in the season that threw him off from being just a straight Friday starter. I think he eventually bounced back and got, the consistent Friday starter rollback, but he had to kind of reset his clock, and the whole thing kind of just threw him off a little bit there. And I saw that in a couple of his starts early on. not attributing that to just his entire year, because I'm sure that didn't have an effect on the entire year. But I think when, Itai, you say like we didn't see him be as dominant as we thought, that might have had something to do with it. And also, we see Kate Anderson and Liam
Yeah,
Doyle do what
definitely.
they do. Like Doyle's had like a 50% strikeout rate through like March, I think, or like something unreal like that. So I mean, when someone's doing that, it's easy to look at a guy like Arnold, who's been really good, and say, yeah, he really hasn't been as dominant as we would expect, because that's the standard we have for left-handed pitchers in this class, which is unreal.
Mhm.
But this guy, I think, has a really good shot, Itai, of getting an underslot deal, maybe, even though it's just like one pickup from where I think he would end up going. Kyson Witherspoon could be a Blue Jays pitcher here next week, and I would love to see that. One of my favorite arms in this class, hands down, maybe my favorite right-hander outside of a guy like Seth Hernandez. The stuff here, 60 grades pretty much across the board. That fastball as well is really just so unhittable. Uh, Brothers in the draft as well. Really fun prospect, a really matured guy to just like talk to from all the interviews that I've seen. 6'2", 206. This dude is just built like a major league starter. Itai, what do you see out of a right-hander like Witherspoon here?
Yeah, I remember watching him in the Carolina regional. He's just very good all around. I think he's 4 pitches. They're all plus stuff. I mean, you're showing here slider coming out at 90, fastball runs it up. I mean, that video is 94, but I'm pretty sure he gets it up to like 98,
Yeah,
99. Just just a dog on the mound. He's a real competitor. I remember last year hearing a ton of things about him as well. Um, but no, he's always fun to watch. That was the one thing with Witherspoon is like right there. He's always, giving attitude. He's really just standing his ground, doing the bulldog thing. But no, he's 100% a fun pitcher. I'm with you there. Like out of the college guys, he's 100% the top right-handed pitcher to watch.
yeah. My favorite thing about him is he walked guys at less than a 6% rate, and you don't see a lot of college guys really have
Yeah,
that good of control on their stuff when they have their K per 9 above 11 like he does. He, like you said, he's just a competitor. This is a guy that I mean, I don't really bet too much on baseball, but like every time Witherspoon went out there on Friday, I was slamming Oklahoma. It didn't matter who they were playing. I was slamming Oklahoma, and I was
yeah.
expecting him to go 6, 7 innings, give him a chance to win. He pretty much put Oklahoma on their back this year. They were a great team, but they would not be anywhere without Kyson Witherspoon at the front of their rotation. And Ethan, know you're big on this guy as well. Want to hear kind of maybe a little more insight that you might have, but I mean, might
Yeah,
be one of the better right-handers in this class if Seth Hernandez wasn't there at
yeah.
the.
I mean, I think he could eat. I mean, not even an argument, really. I think he's probably just the best right-handed pitcher in the college class. And the thing that I just love about some of these college guys that we're talking about, and even Seth Hernandez at the high school level, all these guys have feel for multiple pitches. Kyson's another guy. He has 4 offerings above a 60 grade. There are not a lot of college pitchers or even high school prep guys that have 60 grades for all 4 of their pitches.
Mhm.
It's a fastball that sits in the upper to mid 90s, touching 99. The fastball is like more of a cut ride fastball, so you're getting a lot of vert, but you're also getting a lot of cut on it, which is really impressive. Slider's more of like a gyro bullet like, so it's close to that like 0-0 line, gets a lot of depth too. And the changeup is good for getting whiffs. I know his brother in high school, they were trying to get him in like the 16th round. So the fact that him and his brother are equally this impressive, and the fact that he has feel for all these pitches is just shocking already in his development. This is a guy that could easily be a fast riser in an MLB org right away.
I really think that if he is available at that pick for the Blue Jays in the top 10, that they're going to go and pull the trigger on him, because after Trey Savage came out of the AAC and did what he did and has been flying through their system, I mean, why wouldn't you want an SEC arm that just proved himself at the highest level?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a dog. So we're going to move out west now, because this guy kind of fell off of the radar of a lot of people. I believe he was a top 5 prospect coming into the 2025 season, and Tyler Bremner didn't really have as dominant of a year as people thought he was going to have, especially when you look at just his standard stats there with a 3.49 ERA and 14 starts. Not necessarily dominant, but he struck hitters out a lot, 35.8% strikeout. Another guy who didn't really walk too many hitters, his walk rate was only 0.2% higher than a guy like Kyson Witherspoon. So honestly, just as dominant of a right-handed pitcher. Itai, are you very familiar with a guy like Tyler Bremner? I know he's not really one of the bigger names, not pitching in like the SEC or whatnot, but this guy is really, really good.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely as a pitcher too, you definitely keep tabs on everybody. I want to say preseason, I think he was the pitcher of the year. I just remember him
He was.
being like having that like upside. But yeah, I know this year definitely wasn't like up to his caliber. He wasn't competing as he usually did. When you're a top 10 projected draft pick, you probably shouldn't have a 3.4 ERA. Maybe drop that down a little bit. But I mean, still really good pitcher, fastball, changeup guy, just super traditional, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
Out on the West Coast, yeah, I mean, the competition isn't as great, but still, I mean, he's been dominating. He has the stuff. So, any team given an opportunity, they're going to get a good pitcher regardless.
Yeah, and this is a guy who I'm hearing could really slide if he goes to a team like the Braves, man. I'm hoping he's on the board for when the Braves want to pick, because they got a great guy in Hurston Waldrop out of the college crop a couple of years ago. And I know they probably want to develop another prep arm, but I would love to see them try and get something out of a guy like Tyler Bremner. I think it fits their mold really well. Ethan, what else do you got for us on a guy like Bremner?
I mean, a lot of people have Bremner's changeup being the best in the college class, which is really impressive. This is a guy that's going to run it up 94, 95, can get up to 97, 98. The gyro slider, he did struggle to throw it for strikes, but the fact that he already has a high right fastball, slider is still pretty good. But I think the fastball changeup combo is just pretty much unhittable right now. And the fact that you have a 46% whiff rate on the fastball at the college level is extremely impressive. That's all you really need to see. And I know, like, I guess some of the stats for like some of these guys like aren't the best, but you can even go for a guy like Garrett Crochet coming out of the college level when he was with Tennessee. Numbers weren't there, but in terms of like the pure stuff and metric wise, he was already there. So you could see like a Tyler Bremner or maybe even a guy like a Jamie Arnold kind of fit into that mold. Not in terms of the stats they were delivering, but in terms of the stuff that they already have in their arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, he started out the season just, I think, pretty poorly. I think at one point the ERA was almost up to 5, if not above 5. So he worked it down to that 4.9, almost at 3.50. But I try to not look at ERA too much, Itai. I don't know if that's like a common thing that a lot of people do in college and look more at like walks and strikeouts more.
Yeah,
I mean, is
yeah,
that
100%.
Yeah. Actually, that in like a presser with like FAU, we were talking about guys like stuff and like what maybe the coaches look at even more. Someone got like grilled for saying something about like how ERAs were too inflated on the starters last year. So I don't know. I'm just trying to see if like that's like a general thing that like people feel.
No, I mean, it definitely is, especially with how there's so many factors that go into it, but like one thing, like how certain schools will be scoring their games, errors not being called or something that gets tacked onto a pitcher, or now you have so much data you can work off like FIP and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, when you have old school coaches like we do at Elon, our coach is there for 30 years. He's definitely looking at your ERA. He doesn't care about anything else.
Hey, there's a reason it's still there, man. But I mean, there's some other stuff that it doesn't tell you the full story. So we talked about a lot of college arms. We're gonna move back here too. I think this is honestly our last arm from the high school and prep crop. Guy that we kind of talked about a little bit off camera today, Itai. But we were thinking about another lefty. But this guy is very, very highly ranked in the draft class this year. Cruz Schoolcraft, another left-hander. Like
class full of lefties. And I honestly don't know as much as I probably would like to know about a guy like Cruz. I've mocked him everywhere since March, and I can't seem to really get like a complete like accurate estimate as when I feel he's going to go. He's got great stuff, a plus fastball and slider, pretty solid changeup as well. But in terms of like the other guys in the crop, in terms of all the pitchers, like he seems like the biggest project I think that we've talked about so far by far. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but Itai, I mean, you're a lefty, man. So what do you see out of a guy like Schoolcraft here?
I mean, the biggest thing that stands out is, well, him. He's the biggest thing. Like he's 6'8", 220 pounds. Like he's just a monster. You have a lefty that size, mid-90s. Like, yeah, sure, he's a project, but you finish that project, it's going to be a damn good product. So, I mean, like he's definitely a guy that's going to be fun to watch. Great name guy too. So if he could make his way to the big leagues, that'd be real cool to keep track of.
Yeah, that's half the battle is having the big league name, honestly. But I mean, you know more about the pitching mechanics than I do, but just looking at him and looking at the videos, the stuff just looks so low effort. Like he doesn't look
Yeah,
like
it's very, very simple.
he doesn't look like he's generating like a ton of power at all. His fastball gets
Mm,
up to like high 90s still. I know we talked about Jack Bauer a little bit off camera and like how he was getting up to like
yeah.
over 100 on his fastball, and you know Cruz has that maybe ability in him, but I mean, dude, looking at him too, like he doesn't look like he's 220, even though he's 6'8". Like I don't know, he's giving me like heavy Noah Schultz vibes maybe here. I don't know, same kind of build. Ethan, I don't know what do you feel about Cruz Schoolcraft here?
Yeah, I mean, I do like the Noah Schultz comp. I think that's really good. I mean, yeah, you have a lot to work with. I know it's a project arm, but I mean, when you're standing 6'8" and you have a fastball that gets up to 98 miles an hour, you have a changeup with, I think, a nice fade. I think it's like 13 to 14 in terms of the arm side fade, in terms of the horizontal movement. But yeah, I just think it's more of a project pitcher. He obviously has a high ride fastball, changeup still plus, and I think this is just a very high upside pitcher,
Mm-hmm.
and he might fall more than some of the other guys that we've been mentioning just because of the raw ability and just the raw makeup that we have right now.
Is there like a dream fit in terms of like a team that any of you guys have for a guy like Cruz? Because like I said, it will be kind of a project, but I think there are some better teams that he could go to that would really help his development.
Get him the Rays. Make him throw everything down the middle.
Ethan, how would you
Yeah,
feel about that?
I mean, I wouldn't really mind that. I know Bremner's a guy that I think is projected to be the Rays' second pick. And
Yeah.
I think our projector right now is like a prep shortstop, which we've been doing a lot over the years. But yeah, I mean, any project pitcher will take them. You know, you've seen what we've done with Tyler Glass now, with Shane
Mm,
Baz, with Joe Boyle right now. A lot of these tall, lanky guys. Um, yeah, I don't know what I would change necessarily about Cruz's delivery at the moment right now. Like maybe have him sit a little bit more belt, but yeah, the overall makeup is good, and yeah, I wouldn't mind if he went to the Rays. That'd be fantastic.
It's just like every pitch that he throws, like the delivery is just like no different. And that might sound dumb to say, but like it's like a guessing game coming out of his hand.
Yeah, the thing too is like he's able to sell his change. I mean, you just saw with the fastball right there. The
Yeah.
catcher is literally backing up because he can't handle it. But the fact that he has a feel for the fastball, for the sinker, for the slider, and he keeps his arm action on the changeup, which means like he's not he's not slowing his arm down. It's not like almost tipping to the hitters of what's coming. The fact that he's able to do that at a young age is really impressive too. So
I
the
agree.
project is there and the stuff is there. It's just the team that's going to mold him into a solid MLB player.
Yeah, and right now ranked as the 19th overall prospect in the class, right in front of a guy like Chase Laviolette. If he falls to like an early 20s pick, I mean, I said Braves already, but after they took Caminiti last year and they're doing what they're doing with him, I would love that fit as well. Let's move back to some college arms. Another right-hander here. Itai, we're talking about Patty Forbes, because this guy has electric stuff. He has an incredible heater that, I mean, you just saw there. Flew up a lot of draft boards this year, was on top of a lot of like K per 9, K percentage leaderboards the entire year. Really, really solid arm at 20 years old. Has a great slider as well. Decent changeup. Kind of needs some work there. So there's, I'd say, more reliever upside with this guy, considering the control is not as there as a lot of these right-handers and just in general pitchers that we've talked about so far. But Ita, I'm interested to hear what you got to say about a guy like Patrick Forbes.
Yeah, no, I think he kind of nailed it. He's just a fireballer. He's definitely a guy that projects to be a reliever at the next level. I remember watching him, just hearing what they're saying about him. He's got a lot, like, deals with control problems, runs his pitch count up pretty quick, but I mean, it's overpowering stuff. I mean, that's what people are looking at. That's what they want, and it's going to play. He's got good numbers. I mean, it's mainly fastball, slider. I'm pretty sure his changeup's like kind of bad, but you work on that a little bit.
Yeah, you
And
will.
yeah, he'll be all right. But I mean, you use those two pitches with a fastball that's got good numbers on it. It's consistently upper 90s. He'll definitely be a good arm to develop moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, the strikeout stuff is there right in front of us. 14.76 K per 9. That was good for third among all college pitchers last year. Only Antoine Jean from Houston, Liam Doyle in front of him there. Other stuff, I mean, he walked guys at still under 10% clip, but oh wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong guy. He did walk guys at slightly over a 10% clip. I'm sorry about that. So he had a 4.29 walk per nine. So yeah, I mean the reliever upside's probably a lot more of a thing there with a guy like Patrick Forbes. But Ethan, you got anything else on a guy like Forbes here?
I don't have as much on Forbes as compared to the other guys. I think it's just one of those guys where his floor is an elite reliever in the MLB again. High ride fastball. I know Jackson Scudder over at Baseball Unstitched. This is a guy that he saw multiple times, and the scouts were just in awe over the stuff. The K per nine is crazy with him.
Unreal.
But yeah, I don't have as much on him. I just think it's more of another kind of a project arm. But I think some team could be able to develop him into a full-fledged starter. But I see him more as a relief option at the moment.
Yeah, this is another pick, and I think Will actually was talking about him maybe going to the Braves as well. And I know that I'm said that a lot, but like that also just makes a lot of sense to me. They do a pretty solid job of developing right-handed pitching, so I would not be surprised at all to see him fall in that range. I don't know. This is going to be a guy that could go pretty high and also could fall maybe to the early second round. So we'll see what happens with a guy like Patrick Forbes. So a couple more guys here.
Even with the movement that he gets on his pitches too, like he could probably add pitches as well. Like he could probably add a sinker, he could probably add a cutter. So if a team does want to
help him out a lot,
keep him as a starter, if they want to keep him as a starter, he with the current movement profiles he gets and his like natural biases, he could probably add more pitches too.
I mean, he probably should. Like Itai said, the changeup's not that highly regarded. So I mean, if he's gonna go into the league with a 45 grade changeup that's not very good, I mean that's gonna get hit around, and that's not really gonna work. And I'd rather
you have a violent delivery like that too. I mean, everything just jumps out of that hand.
Right. No, that's just gonna say that
anything to mess around with, it's gonna work.
Yeah. We talked about Cruz Schoolcraft and how his stuff just looks so low effort, and there could not be a
complete opposite too. Yeah.
That's like the Louisville like mold to me though. They just have so many guys who just go out there like hyped up and just throw like just crazy high effort deliveries. Like I don't know, they're fun guys to watch. But we got a couple more guys to talk about here. We're going to talk about Gage Wood next, and I wanted to talk about him. He's another high riser here, and I couldn't download any videos. My software kept crashing on me when I tried to download a video of his no hitter. So I mean, if you didn't see that, I mean, you should just go watch a video of that on your own. But this guy's unreal. His fastball's graded at 70 right now. A great curve. Not the best slider, which is funny that he even is like that he even has one on his profile, because I think someone asked him like after his no hitter, like something about his slider, and he goes, "Oh, I don't throw a slider."
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys saw that, but Itai, man, what do you think about a guy like Gage Wood, especially after seeing just the fireworks he put on display there in Omaha?
Yeah, no, Arkansas is a team that I always kept tabs on just because our strength coach my sophomore year ended up going there. So we'd always just see how guys are going.
Yeah.
And Gage Wood was actually a guy that came up one time. I remember talking, but I didn't really know much about him. There's another arm there at Arkansas, Zach Root, who I'd always watched. Really good lefty. Another good lefty that would go early. But Gage Wood, man, that no-hitter in the College World Series, that was sweet. Just fastball, curveball, and just dominating players. It's really, I'm assuming it's a high AVB heater. I mean, it looks like it just takes off out of his hand, and then the curveball playing off of that, it works. Pounds his zone, strikes dudes out, elite competitor. I mean, I don't think anyone's making a bad pick picking him up.
No, this is a guy that I've seen go in mocks as high as like 12. So we'll see where Gage Wood ends up going. Ethan, you got anything else on Gage Wood?
I mean, low plain fastball with high IVB with a plus curveball coming off that. That's all I really need to hear about him. We saw the performance against Murray State, 19 Ks. I think Gage Wood is, I know we've talked about a lot of guys having like the floor as like a high floor being an elite reliever in the MLB. I think Gage Wood is just going to be a full-fledged starter. The fact that you have an elite fastball already, you have a curveball, this slider isn't there, but he could probably add some more pitches in his mix. I think he profiles very well.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's risen this much to me tells me all I really need to know. A lot of teams are going to have trouble passing up on this guy. I just love what he brings to the table here. 19 strikeouts, I think he had in that no hitter, if I'm not wrong.
Yep, 19.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll play. That'll play just fine.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got one more guy here, Itai, and then we'll let you go here. But this guy's been overshadowed a lot because of the other guy that's at the front of their rotation, and his performances in Omaha. He didn't have the best one against UCLA, and then his start kind of got rained out. So we got to talk about Anthony Ianson. Came back, national championship, has an amazing start. Just gives his team the best chance of winning, and just kind of solidifies that he could be a first-round pick here. And I think the comp picks are his floor at this point. I think a team is going to have a lot of trouble passing up a guy like him. Weird that his pitches across the board aren't graded like the highest, but I mean a really good slider. You see the 65 grade there. So, Itai, man, one more time, we're going to turn it to you here. What do you see from a guy like Ianson?
Yeah, no, Ianson, he's fun to watch. Definitely me. I mean, you know how I used to pitch. So very slider, curveball heavy, and he's kind of the same way. He really like pitches backwards. I remember watching that, and I mean, with his stuff, it works. That slider, 65, is kind of right where I would expect it to be. It's a really good pitch. I know he was hurt for a little bit this year, but didn't really seem to bother him. Came back. I mean, competed his ass off in the College World Series, helped them win that. And, like, yeah, honestly, I thought he'd be higher just from what I thought. But now looking at the drafts or the mocks, I think he could definitely go higher than where he is because he's a good pitcher. He was really good. I remember I only watched him the one time, but it's fun stuff.
Yeah, Ethan, you got anything else?
I'm not going to lie. I kind of profile him more as a reliever just because from what I've seen,
for sure.
Because the fastball gets hit around at times. He can't really locate the changeup. And when the fastball does get hit, he kind of has to use his off-speed pitches. Definitely more of a raw prospect in terms of the college pool. But just the fact that right now the fastball can get hit around due to the shape, the fact that the changeup kind of struggles and him kind of having to go to more off-speed to be effective, I'd profile him more as a reliever, but I still think the raw stuff is still there to develop, especially only at 20 years old.
I'll tell you where I think he's going if he's available here. I think that a team that would really like to grab a guy like Anthony Ianson would be my Yankees. They love the SEC arms that just strike a lot of guys out. I think they would really like to snag a guy like him, and I would really like them to snag a guy like him, honestly.
The Yankees will take anything right now, man.
Yeah, that's a great point.
We need arms, too. So they went 13 pitchers out of their 20 rounds last year. We'll see what they end up doing this time around, but I don't think they'll deviate too much from what they did last year. Are there any other arms that you guys want to talk about before we hop off here? I know, Itai, wanted to keep it kind of short because I know you got a busy schedule, but are there anybody else?
Tap on Zach Root right there. This kid. That kid's nasty. I remember he pitched at our place my freshman year when he was with ECU.
Yeah.
And I think he was a freshman at the time. But, I mean, dude, it was gross. He's real funky with it. I think his fastball is only like 2 to 4, maybe runs it up to like 6, 7. But, I mean, it's gross. He's really damn good. And, it's really impressive to see him dominate at Arkansas as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good pitcher.
Did he transfer into Arkansas this past year? I should probably know that, but I remember him being at
Honestly, nah, I think he's been there 2 years.
That's what I thought too, because I remember when ECU came down to FAU, I saw Savage pitch, but I don't remember if I saw. I think who else did I saw Norby's brother, I think, Ethan.
Yeah.
So, ECU's legit, man.
ECU good ball club.
I think people got a little bit turned off from a guy like Zach Root after they saw what he did in Omaha. He just put up an absolute stinker. It wasn't good. But Ethan, you got anything on a guy like Zach Root? I know this is kind of putting you on the spot because we didn't initially say we were going to talk about a guy like him, but I mean,
no, I mean the fact just looking at a fastball grade isn't as good, but the fact that he has a curveball and cutter combo, he could probably add a slider too. The only other guy I'd probably mention is Jack Bauer. The fact that you're in high school and you're throwing 102 miles an hour makes absolutely no sense at 18 years old. The other stuff is still kind of raw, but granted, it's at the high school level. It's going to be. But I would be really interested to see where he goes because you talk about a project arm. My God, 102 from the left side at the high school level. That's about as good of a project arm you're probably going to find in recent years.
I told Itai where I think he'll land, and I don't like it at all. This seems like a Dodgers pick. They love these project arms. They took a guy like that in 2021, I believe, in Maddox Bruns. It hasn't really paid off for him, so I'd see him trying to go back for it in 2025 and get a guy who could actually work. I love this sentence that I highlighted. The teams are still unsure exactly what to make of Bauer's massive velocity jump. Because how is a guy like this who has a 75 grade heater, a 44th ranked prospect at a high school, like he's 18 years old too. Yeah, this kid's unreal. I mean,
dude, I remember playing baseball, bro, at 16, 17. You saw a kid throwing, I don't know, 94, 95. You're like, wow, like you've never seen something like that. Imagine this kid on a Saturday. You're playing the 8 a.m. game, and Jack Bauer comes at you with 102 miles an hour. I mean, it's ridiculous what we're seeing from high school players now.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to grow up and play in central New York, and I know Itai traveled around a lot more and saw a lot more velo than I did, but there was, if I'm not wrong,
still nothing like that, man.
There's one pitcher from our area when we were coming up that actually had, really nasty, just high velo stuff, and he's in the Cardinal system now. So other than that, I think we were seeing maybe mid 80s at the very most, and at
most.
Yeah, still. It was, you're from Florida, Ethan, so you got more velo.
Yeah, we faced, a couple times in high school, we faced Orion Kirkring. Orion Kirkring is
that's just not fair.
Yeah, Philadelphia Phillies. Imagine going and playing Orion Kirkring 7 p.m. game at Venice High School, and he's throwing a sweeper at, I don't even know how many, 3,000 plus RPMs with 20 inches. Yeah, not fun. The stuff now is probably just as good as it was in high school, so not fun at all.
Even buddies I know that are from Parkland area, that went to Stoneman Douglas, you grow up and you're playing baseball with all these guys. Then you get to high school and now you're competing for a spot against Roman Anthony, Kobe Mayo. It's not really that fair. To think about where me and Itai grew up playing baseball, and then to think about where you're from and just what happens down here. I mean, dude, it's just like another world. I mean, we didn't see that stuff at all.
It's a different game, 100%.
Totally different game.
I mean, yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Are there any other arms that you guys want to go over here? I mean, I'm just kind of going down.
Yo, see where I'm at on this thing.
Huh? Yeah. All right, I got you. Hang on. All right, coming soon.
Yeah, I think they're still working on it or something.
Yeah, I think they're just getting your grades out there.
Yeah, they're taking a long time with the grades.
Itai, man, this is a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah, 100%. I'm so happy we were able to finally do this.
Yeah, and maybe if you want to do something like this, even next week, where after we see where these guys land, we can kind of talk about the fits, talk about what we project for them. I'd be really down to do that. That'd be a lot of fun.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Let's do it.
All right, Ethan, you got anything else, man, before we pack it in for tonight?
No, not really.
All right, well, all I'm going to say is that I still think Cade Anderson's going 1 overall. I don't think the Nationals are going to pass him up. I just want to say that. I don't think they should pass him up. One of the best arms I've seen come out of a draft, that's not named Paul Skeens. So really excited to see where he goes on Sunday. We do have a prospect interview coming this week. I know I've been given a bunch of different dates out, but I'm trying to get this guy on at least Saturday. You'd probably understand that prospects' time right now is pretty, not very, or they just don't have a lot of free time. I guess what I'm trying to say. He's had a lot of interviews, a lot of workouts to do. So, I mean, we'll get him on here when we can, but he's been working with us. So I appreciate him if he's even tuning in. But the almost 600 people watching, we appreciate you tuning in for a little bit of draft analysis. Surprised Itai even. But,
I was like, oh shit.
Itai, is there a Twitter account or just your Instagram that you want to plug real quick before where the people can follow you, see what you're up to?
Yo, hold up, my bad. I just got an Amber Alert.
Really? I probably shouldn't be laughing.
Yeah, no, it's not funny.
No, it's not at all.
Okay, repeat what you said, my bad.
I was going to say, do you want to plug your Instagram or your Twitter or anything before we hopped off?
Oh, Itai Spinoza right there. I think it's Itai Spinoza on both. Can't mess it up.
Yeah, and I know you played for Israel and their national team. Are you still playing with them? I meant to ask you, but
yeah, I had on 2 weeks for playing in the Czech Republic.
Hell yeah.
And then
that's awesome.
In the fall as well, we playing with the senior national team.
Where's that? Do you know where that's
fun stuff.
Same area?
That'll be in Amsterdam, in Rotterdam.
They've got some dogs out there in the Netherlands now. That'll be fun.
Yo, they just bring everyone from Curacao, dude. Curacao, Aruba. They all just look like David Ortiz, and their pitchers are all just like 6'6" white guys.
Yeah,
so
and then
like,
they got
they
that
have,
one.
They have the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and then they took that one switch pitching kid from Mississippi State as well.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
his dad even played there. So yeah, no, I mean,
yeah,
well,
yo, I might be
then?
stepping up in the box against him. That'll be fun.
Are you gonna be hitting?
I don't know. With the senior national team, probably not. But I mean, just because at this point we've been getting so many dudes that have been converting just so that they can play.
Yeah,
it's like what they do with the World Baseball Classic teams. How they just pick up like the Jewish guys, get them some Israeli citizenship, and call it a day. But
Jock Peterson.
Yeah, I mean, it's still. I love it. I mean, I'm gonna keep doing it as long as I can. Those experiences are sweet. Man. I mean, every time I played against Didi Gregorius last time. Like, it's just the opportunity to have stuff like that. Like, it's
awesome.
It's really great.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think there's some guys down here in the SFCBL that even play for Team Israel as well. So I'm wondering if there's some guys that but I don't know.
Yo, we had some dudes last year, so it's possible.
Yeah, so that's interesting. But what's that been like playing over for Team Israel? Is like the comp actually like? I mean, you mentioned Didi Gregorius and how Netherlands kind of poaches there from Curacao. But like, what's that comp like?
I mean, it really, it's a wide range. You play the top teams like Italy, Germany, the Netherlands. They're all producing real talent.
Yeah.
I mean, they've all got established academies, established leagues. Like, that's legit baseball for sure. And then you have like Austria and Lithuania, and you can imagine how they're all pulling up. They're sharing like 4 gloves and 1 bat.
I think Jonathan Scope was playing with Didi Gregorius as well on that team.
Yeah.
Was as well, or is that or no?
There was one more like something Bernardino. Man, I don't remember, but like with Czech Republic as well. That's another country that's really developing. Eric Sogard, he is 2 for 2 off me.
WBC, didn't he?
Yeah. He was playing. Cool. I actually got the start against them. And then Eric Sogard had 3 RBIs in 1.2 innings. And I was like, all right, dude, I'm 19 years old, buddy. Like,
are those tournaments? Are those like qualifiers for the WBC? Or are those just their own thing?
Not necessarily qualifiers, but they count towards like the points. So the way the world ranking works is like it takes in all the certain events that go on, and each event is worth a certain amount of points, like where you stand. I don't know. There's a lot that goes into it, but not directly to the World Baseball Classic, no.
Okay, well, that's just interesting stuff, man. And I know I don't get to talk to you about it that much. So maybe we'll have you on next time and you'll talk a little bit more about that, or even after the fact, we'll have you come on again and talk about it.
Sure. I go in 2 weeks, so in a month, I'll hop back on and talk about it. Yeah, for sure.
Let's do it. But I mean, either way, this is not Itai's last time being on here. I'm glad you finally got on here and that I finally made it happen, bro. But I'm glad I finally stopped putting it off. Like, it was a great show. And
100%.
Again, thank you for coming on and just giving us some of your time. Ethan, thank you for hopping on after, I'm sure, your long day today. Don't know when we'll be back next. We're going to try and have a lot of long streams for you guys, especially with the draft coming up. We're planning on doing a whole stream from the start of the first round to the end of it. So that's going to be a pretty long one, like 3 or 4 hours. So if you guys are interested in the draft, tune into that. Other than that, like I said, I got hopefully an interview coming out on Saturday, but I'm sure we'll be live before then even. So we'll see you guys when we see you next time, and have a great rest of your night.